How does the existence of a liquidation preference of a preferred shareholder affect later financing rounds? So restated, a preferred shareholder has a liquidation preference attached to their preferred shares. Now, the company that they have invested in seeks a future round of investment from new investors. How does the existence of that initial or original liquidation preference affect this scenario? So let's start with the first liquidation preference. So part of Series A funding, it is very common to give liquidation preferences attached to preferred shares to investors who are investing in the company. So the investor will receive their money back or some multiple of their money back, known as a liquidation preference, in the event of a future financing round or in the event the company is fully liquidated or sold. Now, when the company later seeks a Series B funding round, that is, the Series A funding round provided capital for a certain life stage and the company was able to proceed accordingly to the next stage of development, and it needs more capital. It will seek another funding round and sell additional ownership interest to a new group of financiers. Now, sometimes the existing group of financiers will step in and offer up the capital needed for additional ownership interest, but more often than not, a bigger player steps in, such as a venture capital firm, to provide the necessary financing. And so there is an existing class of preferred share out there that does not meet the requirements or is not logical in terms of what the next investing group, the Series B group, will want. So you have to authorize another class of preferred shares. Now, this later investing group may take issue with the early liquidation preference of the Series A investor. If they do, they may hold out and not be willing to go along with the deal unless they have a liquidation preference on the same terms or unless that liquidation preference of the Series A holder is taken away. And so this is where you have a major remedy called a cram down. And this is where the board of directors, through class voting or through threats of reclaiming or redeeming ownership interest of the preferred shareholders, they force down the deal, the Series B terms, on the Series A owners. And this generally means that the Series A preferred shareholder has to swap out or turn in their preferred class of share in exchange for the same class of ownership interest that the Series B investors will receive in the deal. And again, this is called a cram down because it's being crammed down on top of them through procedural mechanism or through governance mechanism. And generally, the Series A investors will only go along with this type of Series B financing if the Series B financing brings in substantial value to the company. Generally, this means that the company is valued a lot higher per share, and this investment round will add value to the Series A preferred shareholder. So in doing so, they're actually creating additional value for themselves, and for that reason, they're willing to give up their Series A preferred share in exchange for Series B preferred share. So this is what a liquidation preference is and how it can affect follow-on financing rounds and the cram down, which is a common solution to the issues that arise.